Guys, this is Sean back again with another video, and today we're doing another Tessie video. And as you can see here, I have the Tessie desktop app, the web app available. I'm not using the iOS app right now. Just want to make a quick video of a quick trip that I made. Well, not even a quick trip, of a trip that I made down to Florida. We went from the northeast Atlanta, Georgia area all the way down to Port St. Lucie, Florida. I would say I had a pit stop to make. I would say it took about 9 hours to get there, plus another hour drive to another city to pick up my wife and daughter because they flew in from California. So we had to go to West Palm Beach and pick them up. So with this video, guys, what I want to do is just see, and the objective is it cheaper to charge an electric car or drive an electric car, or is it cheaper to drive a gas car? And that all depends. It's multiple reasons that could depend on if what's the miles per gallon of that car and also your electric needs. But as of right now, this is June 2023. I went at the beginning of the month, and we're going to get into the details now. But let's go into what car I drive. So I have my car is named T. It's a 2022 Model 3 long range. As you can see right now, we're logged into the Tessie desktop app. My car's been sleeping for a day and 3 hours. I work from home, so I don't have to drive anywhere. So that's a great thing. It tells you the climate. I have it charged to 76%. I only charge to about 76%. I don't charge to 100%, except unless I go on a road trip. Tires are good. And I think if you click into this, it'll tell you the PSI of each tire, 45, 44, 44, 43. And I think Tesla is coming up with a software update to tell you exactly about your tire. So if we go here, I don't want to go down to my address too much, but as you can see here, this is what we have. So let's go and look at my battery just to give you things. My charging is complete. I have 76% battery, usable 76%. I have my charge limit at 74, and you see it goes a little bit over that. So as you see here, it says with 74%, my car's estimated range is 260 miles. Real world range 216. So that is about what, a 44 mile an hour drop. But it's based, as you see here, based on my historical energy efficiency. So just depending on how I drive. I have no phantom drain right now because the car is plugged in. So yeah, so this is going really well. Actually pretty good on my battery. So let's look at my battery health though. So if we go into the health, it runs a program. As you can see, it's saying I have 97.7% health, only 2.3% battery degradation. And I think I have 18,000 miles on my car. We'll have to look at that in a second. But it says my usable capacity is 76 kilowatt hours. And it used to be 77.8. And I think we have a 83 kilowatt hour battery, but you know, it's a little bit there. So now it's saying my max range is 345 miles. It used to be 353 miles when I bought it new. But keep in mind, you may not ever get that rated range, right? Depending on how you drive. And you'll see here. So I have 71.1 charge cycles, and Tesla batteries are expected to last at least 1,500 cycles. Great information to have. Really love this information. This app is totally worth it. This app has been connected to my car since I drove out of the parking lot of the Tesla dealership. All right, so now let's go into look at some of the drives. And as I can tell you, we went to let's go and sort it. So as you hear, you can go here and let's do a custom. We left on the second. So as you see here, I left at 5:13 in the morning, and I needed to go to Augusta, Georgia. Let's see if I can look at a map, and this will give you a little more range. So as you see here, I left Atlanta, Georgia, went to Augusta, and then went all the way down to Port St. Lucie. That is my drive. And let's look at the map here, and we map it out here. You'll be able to see as well. So as you can see here, this is my drive: Atlanta, Georgia, to Augusta. We charged in the Savannah area, charged in Jacksonville area, charged in Titusville area, and then we had to go all the way down to Port St. Lucie. So we went all the way almost down to Florida. All right, so now let's go back to the analytics of this drive. Let's go back to the second, and let's look at some of the stats here. As you can see, we left Augusta, Georgia at 97%. We drove 121 miles. It took an hour and 49 minutes. We was only 75% efficient. And that's probably because I was really driving. We click into it. As you can see here, it gives you a little bit more details. It says we use 8.51, $8.51 worth of electricity, or we use $21.26 of fuel. My average speed was actually 70 miles an hour. So that's still kind of crazy that it was only 75% efficient. But my max speed was 94. As you can see here, in certain areas, I got up to that speed. And I mean, it's when I first left, it was pretty dark, and it takes me about 30 minutes to get to the highway. So that's why you see it was pretty low here. And I think that affected some of the range too, because you see here, when I got on the freeway, I was going pretty fast. Lost 502 feet elevation. Actually used 47% of my battery. And as you can see, I use it took me 121 miles, but I use 161 miles of range. So it makes me 75% efficient. And my average watt hour per mile was 292. And I think that's not too bad. Sometimes I average around 220, 230. I mean, I drive around the city 99% of the time. And as you can see, the interior temperature, I had it set at 70. So it stayed around that 70 mark. Outside was around 65. Great data, guys. And then as you can see, we charged in Augusta before I had to pick up an aunt. We charged in Augusta. So we went from 50% to 76. And then I drove 12 miles from the supercharger to her house. And I was really efficient on this. I'm not even going to track this. Okay, so then we left on our next leg. We left Augusta, Georgia. And we went to Pooler, Georgia, as well as our next stop to charge. We did another 125 miles. As you can see here, 82% efficient. Let's click into this. We're a little bit more efficient here with from Augusta to Pooler. And I think the reason why is because we did more back roads. And the data probably will show us this. We still use $8 of electricity, $21 of fuel. Average was a little lower at 64, and max was 91. So that's exactly telling you right there. In the last leg, I was averaging 70, max 94. So even with that just 6 miles an hour decrease, it increased my efficiency from 75% to I think about 83%. So as you can see here, we lost a little bit more elevation. We used 45% battery. We actually used was 82% efficient. So we used 153 miles of range, and it was down to 269 watt hour per mile. And that's because we were, let's see, can I find it? It'll tell you my speed here. So as you can see here, we were doing 40, 50. There's a lot of back roads in South Georgia, right? Going down to South Georgia. So we didn't really hit that until we got around the freeway around here. All right. So that was a pretty good part of the leg. After that, we charged in Pooler. As you can see here, we got to Pooler around 28%, and we charged to 64%. And then we made it on to Jacksonville, 77%. It was 2 hours and 4 minutes. We actually did 140 miles in that leg. Probably won't go into too many details in this one. It's all similar. As you can see, with the Tesla, you will do about, 2-hour sprints, 120 to 140 miles. As you can see here, like we was going a little bit faster. So that's why we was at 77% efficient, still losing elevation. 285 watt hour per mile in that leg. As you can see, outside temperature is starting to heat up. But yeah, so the car is pretty efficient to me. Like I think even though this was a 9-hour trip, it didn't feel like it, guys. I'll just tell you that now. It didn't feel like it because we stopped. As you can see here, we stopped about every 2 hours on the way down. So as we made it to Jacksonville, made it 11, charged up to 67%. And then we went on to Titusville. And Titusville is close to Port Canaveral, to Space Coast. So it was an hour and 50 minutes. We were 74% efficient. We did 133 miles. All right. And then that was our last charging stop of the trip. We charged in at 14%, got it up to 77%. And then we did another 101 miles at hour and 24. We was really down here, 69%. So let's look at why we were so low here. Probably because it was just 95, and I think we was really riding on 95. So my average speed was 76, Max was 91. As you can see, pretty consistent here as we were on 95. Gained a little elevation, 146 miles. Let's see, that it was 87 degrees. So that's also letting you know that, like you said, speed affects range, heat affects range. We made it to our hotel here in Port St. Lucie at 33%. And that is just me going around to probably get something to eat. And then I did have to make another hour drive to West Palm Beach. So as you can see here, I did go to they do have a supercharger in Port St. Lucie. They have two around their area. One is 150 and one is 250. The 251 is on the special road, the toll road. So if you want to go on the toll road, then you'll have to go to the 250. But if you stay on 95, then you'll get a 150. The 250 is really great. It's in a great spot. A lot of chargers there, a lot of non-Tesla chargers there as well. So as you can see here, we went from Port St. Lucie to West Palm Beach to pick them up from the airport. It was 58 miles. It took me about an hour, 77% efficient. That's me just riding around the airport. As you can see, then we went back here to the airport to back to the hotel. So we got around 11%. And then we went and charged at the Port St. Lucie supercharger. All right, guys, so that was this on the way down. So look at the way down. Now let's just look at on the way back. So we go to the 5th. We're going to go back. We left Port St. Lucie. That's the 4th. I don't know why this came up. Let's go back here and do the 5th. All right, so we go to the 5th. As you can see, we left with, I wouldn't count this one because I went to drop something off from 77 to 74, but we left officially around 70%, 69%, right? Went to Daytona Beach, and now I have my wife and kid in the car and my aunt in the car. So there's more people in the car. We're going to stop longer, and you'll see too exactly what happened in this situation too, because with the kid is a little different traveling with the kid than traveling by yourself. So on the way down, I was with my aunt. She's a little older, so just us two, and we were going for time, really. So we would charge just the appropriate time and we would get out of there. So you'll see now on the way back, we're not really going for time. And I have a kid. She wants to get out. We went around Target, walked around, used the bathroom, changed her clothes. You'll see. So as you can see here, we left at 8:32 in the morning. We did a 2 hour and 10-minute first leg, 149 miles, 69%. And we were out of spec in it. We arrived at 2%, Daytona Beach, 250, nice charger. And my wife was driving on this one too, and you see she's 66% efficient. But yeah, so then and you can see it went from 2% to 99%. So because there's a Target right in front of it, so we were there for a while. As you can tell, we were there for almost an hour. You can see there. Then we went from Daytona Beach to Pooler. We actually had less charging stops. We did longer miles. Look at this one. This one was a 3-hour drive. We did Daytona Beach back to Pooler. And a different charging spot in Pooler. So we went from 99% to 8%. So that gives you at 75% of the range, 73 to 75% of the range, you're going to get 220 to, I would say 220, maybe we possibly got 240 out of this. So with this battery going highway speeds, you're probably going to get around 240 miles. And let's look at this one. And that's crazy to say because we look at some of the different videos of people doing the 70-mile-an-hour challenge, but you're not doing just 70 out here. Our average was 76, max was 92. So as you can see here, we're doing a lot of 80s. My wife was driving this one, but we'll just use 70. 76 was the average, right? 76 miles an hour. We used 91% of the battery. We use the rated range, we use 311 miles of the rated range, 73% efficient. We use 68 kilowatt hours of that battery, and we were at 303 watt hour per mile. I think that is a lot, guys. That is a lot. So yeah, so just thinking of that, like thinking road trip, but the Tesla, but we did 3 hours. So that's 3 hours you really need a break. Like she was really tired after this 3 hours. That was the longest leg we did the entire day. We went to Pooler, got something to eat in Pooler, so we just sat there. Then we made it back to Augusta, and as you can see, we did a 2 hour stint here in Augusta. It was 81% because we went around a lot of back roads. we only charged to 77. We left there, went to the supercharger in Augusta, charged there some 72, and then we made it on home in another around an hour and 51 minutes. All right, guys, and that is just basically like charging, right? That is what happened when we charged there. Let's go look at our supercharger. So as you can look at it here, how much all of these charging cost. So as you can see, we drove down to Augusta, Georgia. This is a 150. We were there around 15, a little bit under 13 minutes, and we added 19 kilowatts for $6. We went to Pooler. We had 13 minutes, and you can see the difference between a 150 and a 250. And the price is not that much different. So if you can hit a 250, hit a 250. Look at that, same amount of time, but we added a little, almost 10 kilowatt hour less battery. All right, so then we $7.45. Then we went to, and we're leaving Georgia. So just remember that, leaving Georgia. Now we're going to Florida. We hit up Jacksonville, which I heard is some of the most expensive supercharging places around in Florida. As you can see, got there with 11%, charged to 67, 41 kilowatt, 18 minutes, $15. Got to Titusville at 14%, 23 minutes, $18. Added 46 kilowatt hours. Got to Port St. Lucie, and then I wanted to charge a little bit to go pick up the family. As you can see here, 17 kilowatt hours, 11 minutes, $6.80. We wanted to charge again at Port St. Lucie at the 250. So this is the first one from June 2nd. This one right here is the 150. This one right here is the 250. So as you can see here, that's when we came back from there. And this is me charging around. I needed to charge a lot because we had to drive around. We had to go places. We had to go to West Palm Beach again. So this is what we needed to do just to get around the city, right? We needed to continue to get around the city and make sure we have enough charge. So I did charge to 100% one day because I had a little extra time, and I wanted to make sure we had enough to make it around to the wedding and make it back home. Made it back to Daytona at 2% to 99. It was $28. So basically almost $28 for a full charge. It's still cheaper than gas. That's how many kilowatt hours we added back. As you can see here, Pooler went from 8% to 79%, 28 minutes. And I have a kid. So you see these charging stops down here are shorter, and now it's longer on our way back with the wife and kid. So as you can see here, it's 28 minutes, 53 minutes here. 17 minutes back in Augusta, and then at home it's really cheap at home. So it's the moral of the story is way cheaper to charge at home. All right, guys. So I did make a little spreadsheet just to see would this trip be cheaper than actually using the car. I had a 2011 Dodge Avenger. That was my last car. As you can see here, the 2011 Dodge Avenger. I would say I got 20 miles per gallon, and that was a 13-year-old car, right? Even on the highway, around 20 miles per gallon. So what I wanted to do is just add up the charging costs of what it cost me to go from Atlanta, Georgia to Port St. Lucie and back. As you can see, I added all of those costs from the previous tab here, and it came to $155 to charge. And I think that's pretty good. Like, I don't know about you. I mean, it seems like a lot, right? Compared to charging at home and what I normally spend. Like, I normally spend in a month $0 on supercharging and maybe about $20 a month on charging. Maybe 20. All right. So if we go here, you can actually see all of the miles that we drove, 761 miles down because we had to go to West Palm Beach, and 649 miles there. And what I did here is I added a formula to calculate what the price would have been in gas. So as you can see, I took the miles divided by 20 miles per gallon, and times the price, the average price of gas. So gas is about $3.50, I would say. So each one of this is how much money in gas I would have spent. So $21, $2, $21, $24. So on the way down, it would have been $133 in gas. On the way back, $113 in gas. So just wanted to pull up a different sheet here. And as you can see, we drove 1,400 miles in that trip. It cost me $155 for 443 kilowatt hours of electricity. Estimated gas cost would have been $246 for 70 gallons of gas. So basically, we saved almost $100. So if you just do a little quick formula here, this will tell you exactly how much money we saved in gas. So basically, on this trip, based on the amount of gas and amount of miles I've driven, it saves me $91 to drive an electric car. So I want to leave you guys with just that. Think about it. What do you think? The question is it actually cheaper to drive an electric car? And the answer is depends. Depends on if you have public charging there at the hotel. Usually when we stay in Daytona Beach and we go to Florida, we charge at the hotel. It has free charging. So that would have saved us, I think that would have saved us a bunch of money if we would have had charging at the hotel. That would have saved us a lot of money. Or if we'd have rented an Airbnb or anything like that, that would have saved us more money. But by not having that, it cost us a little bit more money. So yeah, once again, to that, the answer is depends. And if you have a better or more fuel efficient car that gets 35 miles a gallon, you're probably going to break even. It's probably going to be the same. Like with my wife's car, we may get 30 miles a gallon. So if you are able to get this 30 miles a gallon, yes, it is going to be way cheaper or around the same. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this once again. This is this is Sean. Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I know this is a long video, but I love these stats. I love these nerdy stats. And I know some people like these videos too, or don't like the long videos, so feel free to skip around. And once again, if you want to get a referral to Tessie, please let me know. This is a great app. Here is my referral link. I'll put it down in the description. I know someone said they wanted to use it. So when 10 people subscribe, we get a free lifetime membership. So, and if you get a free month if you go over my referral. So yeah, guys, I really love this app. So once again, I want to say thank you for watching this long video and have a great day. Peace.